Reebok Nano 10 versus the Reebok Nano 9. Which should you buy? There's a pretty big price difference between the two right now, and I'm here to help you decide. All right, so right off the bat, I'm gonna be straight up with you. I think both of these shoes are solid. Now there are some nuances in between them that I like each shoe for. So let's run through 4 of those nuances that can hopefully help you make a selection on which shoe you're gonna like better. So the Reebok Nano 10, I think fits a little bit more snug. The booty back here is a little thicker, so it does hold that heel a little tighter, and the overall material on the shoe itself has kind of been revamped a little bit, so it's not as flexible, so it holds the shoe really tight. Now, on the other hand, if you do like a little bit more of a flexible build, this booty is not nearly as thick as the 10, has a little bit more give up here in the flex weave. So if you do like a shoe that really form fits and moves a little bit more, then I would say go for the CrossFit Nano 9. Now, when it comes to the outsole and midsole construction and their stability, both of these shoes are solid. Honestly, you're not gonna have a problem, I don't think, under heavier weight with either of these models. Literally the outsole is the same. The midsole is pretty much the same as well. We have that high density foam throughout here. We have that TPU layer that comes over the heel on the medial and lateral side, and that is on both of these models, and they still have that Rope Pro technology right here through the midfoot. So when it comes to stability, both of these shoes are solid. Now, my favorite part of the Reebok Nano 10, besides how it fits in general, is just the overall feeling that the midfoot has. So besides kind of cupping that heel really tight and giving you that nice secure feeling, this shoe just feels a little bit more athletic. Now I think it has to do with kind of that revamped construction. Like I said, the outer got redone. It's a little bit thicker through the midfoot, and it doesn't kind of have that bigger portion down here in the toe that has like that kind of gap. So if you see here, how this dips down, if you tighten the Nano 9 really tight, you're gonna have a little bit of overlap of material here. It's not a make or break for performance, but it's a subtle difference that makes the 10 a little bit better. Now, when it comes to the 9 itself, my favorite part about it, it's the price. This shoe is around $70 right now. So if you're not down to spend the full $130 for the brand new Reebok Nano 10, go with the 9. The 9 is a solid shoe. The last is very similar in the sense of its overall width and so forth. The only real difference is just how the shoe feels and some subtle construction differences. So like that heel booty design we talked about, that toe part down here towards the end of the midfoot with the lacing. But overall, it's gonna be a solid bet. So if you're looking to save money, go Reebok Nano 9. So hopefully I helped you a little bit navigate the nuances between these models. The 10, I think, is a slightly better shoe when it comes to just the overall fit and feel for high performance activities. However, you can't really fault the 9 because it's a close runner up and it's about half the price. All right, so I'm gonna be straight up with you. I'm gonna go down a list of attributes that I think which of these shoes is best for. I've been wearing both of these shoes pretty strategically, and actually I've had a lot of workouts where I wore them both at the same time. Yeah, that was probably kind of foolish, but also it gave me a really good idea for how each feels. So when it comes to stability, I'm gonna give these shoes a tie. The midsole and outsole, again, are the exact same pretty much, so you can expect to get the same stability from both models. Now when it comes to the versatility, I'm gonna have to give the edge to the 10, and that's only because the beefed up material back here in the heel, and also that more form-fitting midfoot material here. So this fits a little bit more true, it feels a little bit more athletic. The Nano 9 is solid as well. However, it's a little bit more loose for me, especially down here in the toe box. So I would go for the 10 when it comes to versatility and overall applicability when it comes to like agility movements, running, and so forth. Which shoe is best for running? Well, that's gonna be a tie again because the midsole and outsole are very similar. So you're gonna get a little bit of a similar reactivity from each of the midsoles, and the heel strike is gonna be very similar. But I will say that the 9 is probably a little bit better when it comes to doing, like, let's say your 3 or 4 mile run ranges, just because it is a little bit more maneuverable and breathable, feels a little bit lighter on the foot. Now, price, obviously, Reebok Nano 9 coming in around $70 versus $130 for the Reebok Nano 10. Can't really fault the price there. All right, so 3 subtle construction differences between these models that I think will further help you decide which model is going to be best for you. So if we look over here on the Nano 9, we have a more flexible outer layer. So they have this flex weave, it has a little bit more give to it, a little bit more stretch, it's a little bit more accommodating. It feels not as sturdy on the foot compared to the 10. The 10 kind of got a revamped layer, it's a little thicker, doesn't have as much give. And also we can look at the midfoot and the lacing system here. The 10 has a thicker layer of synthetic layer that comes around the bottom. And I like that a lot because I mentioned earlier that when you tighten the Nano 9 a lot, you kind of get this bunched up layer down here, which again doesn't really impact performance, but it's not my favorite when it comes to just the overall aesthetics of the shoe. The 10 kind of limits this because it has this synthetic layer that puts the laces inside. So one, that's really durable, but two, it hides the fact that there could even be an overlap of material. Another difference between these two models is the booty. Over here on the Reebok Nano 9, it's a little thinner, so it doesn't come up nearly as high on the heel. As you can see, it's not as nearly as thick as the Reebok Nano 10. They brought this heel cup up a little bit more on the 10. It really closes in on that heel, so it's very stable. There's never any heel slip issues in this model, and it's a thicker material. So if you really like feeling locked into that shoe, the 10 is honestly a really good step in the right direction. A third construction difference between the two is obviously just the outer layer back here on the midfoot on the lateral side. They've beefed up the material and also kind of like reworked the branding a tiny bit. It's not as clear with that old school Reebok sign here. You can see like two lines coming through, but it's not as prominent because there's this outer layer of material that's a little bit thicker out here. So again, booty design on both shoes, but the material is gonna be a little bit thicker in the 10. So those are, I think, the biggest construction differences between these models that you should be considering. All right, so one more section. Let's go through a little rapid fire round. Which shoe is better for CrossFit in my opinion? I would go with the Reebok Nano 10. It's a little bit more stable when it comes to the outer, and it's a little bit more durable. The 9 will do the job for you, but the 10 I think is gonna go the distance when it comes to durability. Which is better for more of like, let's call them your 5K or lighter runs? I'm gonna have to go 9. It's a little bit more flexible on the forefoot just due to the outer material. It's a little bit more breathable, so it might be preferred for doing lighter runs. Neither of these shoes I think should be taken for distances because the midsole and outsole are a little bit more stable, so they're not gonna be the most comfortable, but that's what I would say for lighter run folks who wanna use the shoe for that. Which shoe is best for heavy lifting? Tied. I'm not gonna give an edge to either of these models. You can't really give an edge when the midsole and outsoles are very similar to the point where it's literally almost exactly identical. So both of these shoes are gonna be solid for heavy lifting. Which shoe is best for agility work? Again, I'm gonna have to go with the 10, and that's only because I really like how it fits and closes that midfoot in. Now I did a lot of lateral work, especially in this video, as you've seen in both of these models, and they both work really well. If you like having a little bit more maneuverability, then you might actually take the 9. But I like to have the ankle a little bit more secure when it comes to just that midfoot feeling trapped down. So I'm gonna go with the 10 in that front. Which shoe is best for the price? The 9. Again, $70 versus $130. It's a no-brainer. You can get the 9 on sale right now in a ton of different colorways. So if you are trying to save on your next shoe purchase and you want a newer-ish shoe, honestly, you can't go wrong with the 9. Hopefully this video helped you make a decision between the Reebok Nano 10 and the Reebok Nano 9. I tried to keep it shorter and more performance focused because that's what I think is really important between these two. Honestly, they're both really solid, and for a price of $70, you can't go wrong with the Reebok Nano 9. Now note, if you use the links down in the description below, I will make a small sale on those purchases if you go to the Reebok site and my links. However, note that my channel doesn't make or break on that money by any means, and I don't skew my opinion, and I wish more channels would actually disclose that they're using affiliate links. But again, if you have any questions on these models, drop them down below in the comments. If you like this video, drop it a like, subscribe to the channel, everything helps. Again, we'll see you in the next one, guys.